Hi, and thank you for watching show number 91. It is the 17th of December, 2023. This is DJ 2Paz at TargetedWest.com. We're a peaceful work group that has some terrorists in our heads and are trying to figure out the technology behind it. We believe it's the fourth industrial revolution technology, and we're going to expose it. The opinions of our guests are those of theirs and not that of DJ Chris or Targeted West. And without further, I think I covered everything. It's 56 in Lodi right now. And without further ado, Shiloh Taylor's, come on in.
Hello, DJ Chris, and hello, everybody.
Everybody's doing good. Of course, you had a spectacular show with your conference for the PAC. Did you want to recap on that and let us know what the future plans are for your future show?
Sure. I see some of the people that are on your call as well attended, so I don't want to go over too much. I do have, a little presentation that I did that's now on my YouTube and also on my Twitter, and you can find it on my website as well, which just sort of makes a little bit of fun of the game that is playing. The rules have changed basically in the political world and how things are done. They've added a fun little game with Citizens United that has just added some different things in there that has just sort of put billions of dollars into the political campaign. If we thought it was bad before, if anybody's ever lived in a swing state, which I did most of my entire life, the campaign, the amount of inundation you get of all of the advertising living in a swing state, this has kind of done tenfold of that. And so, they really come after people and they unseat them because those negative attacks work. And so they're all sort of hiding behind this. Well, I don't take lobbyist dollars, but you certainly run afraid from the PAC. And so what is a PAC? It's a political action committee, and it stems from Citizens United is a landmark United States Supreme Court case, Citizens United versus Federal Election Commission in 2010. And if you don't understand what that did, that basically gave unlimited spending to unions and corporations and other groups. They ruled in favor of these corporations, saying they had a right to be able to speak. Like I guess our voice is too bad we didn't have millions of dollars backing up each of our voices. Really unfair in the sense that the special interests have really grown, and then the parties have become really just too big for their britches at this point, because they have also benefited from this. This is why they won't cut this program, and they won't even put it on the floor of the Senate or the House, because they all benefit from this, and the parties have really benefited from it, and which is the reasoning behind what I think is what has happened with that. I personally was targeted by a party, and there are a lot of people that are political targets, and just the things that they've done to what they're doing, the DNC and Assange. We don't have to go further about how big for the britches the two political parties have gotten for themselves right now. And so really I wanted to give an explanation to everyone in layman's terms about what is going on, because there's lots of misinformation that goes on around, like people want to blame certain people, certain billionaires, and, it's this billionaire or it's that billionaire, or, and they're playing a part in it, but it is not one person. And so just so you don't understand the misinformation, but, this is how they do these things. They can swing certain things, but the voting is still not that easy to swing. It's the hardest place for them to cheat. They have gerrymandering. They have all of these other cheat codes that they can do. Right now, besides the gerrymandering, they buy these political positions, basically these secretaries and these other positions, by, donating and getting these PACs to spend millions against their opponents and all of these different things. So that's why a lot of the governments run administratively by appointees. And so these are important things that we, the people, don't have any of these tools right now. We can get them and need to sort of go back to the way that it was with the unions when a lot more people were represented by unions in their work. Now, and I've always said there needs to be an alternative for unions, because unions also, as good as they are, they also keep bad cops. They keep bad, bad medical field people. They're not perfect, and so there needs to be a little bit of an alternative to that. But the people still need the power of lobbying and other things that unions were able to do. So this, allows organizations and other groups to be able to lobby and to put together these political organizations as well. But again, how is this working? Who are these special interest players? Number one, the biggest one that I see, and I think a lot of us see, is the war contractors and profiteers. The war machine is going to, number one, it's going to break the middle class, and number two, it's going to destroy us if we allow it to. And the government's not going to cut themselves. They're not going to cut their budgets. They're not going to cut their sorry to be truthful, but little dick energy that the United States has with having to take over everything in the world. It's enough. So the war contractors and profiteers, they are number one. Corporations, insurance, and finance, definitely number two. Billionaires are number three. They come in number three. Special interest groups, that's anyone that can be us, what we're looking to do with this PAC. World Economic Forum, all of these other things. There's a lot of churches. Churches aren't allowed to get involved in this, and either are 501c3s at all. They're not allowed to be involved in politics. So if you want to get involved in politics and play this game, you need to be set up in this way. And so this is why this has to be set up in a way that, well, why doesn't it make money for a bunch of people? Because number one, it's a better platform. A nonprofit is not to make a billionaire rich. It has a lot of different, nonprofits are better because you can, if you set your board up right, get different views and set it up so that it is more representative of the actual constituency and the actual people that we have, instead of it just being for people who are, if you want to use the right-wing woke people, that platform's just for woke people, and that platform's just for right-wingers. And it doesn't need to be run that way, where it's all about whoever has the biggest pocketbook gets the biggest reach. And so some of these things are just natural things that the people need, as that we need the power of coming together the way that we used to with unions, to where we had the power. But now we need to understand that the game has changed, that where the action is the political action committees, which are really just, a mean girls version of campaign finance. And so it really is just unseating people. But really, at this point, with the way the Congress is and the way that the Electoral College has set this up, that we can't get rid of these people. The war machine is in there, and if we don't do something about it, and if we can vote harder, go vote for the Democrats again. They've protected nothing for us. They've done nothing for us, especially since they've gotten too big for their britches. They've really done nothing for us. And we, the people, need to come back together instead of going, into our tribes based on, race and different things that, right wing and you're left wing and you're woke and you're not woke. That, we're all digital workers. We're all here. We all eat the same food. We have many issues that go beyond your cultural differences and your political ideologies. Like, those are the things that we need to focus on. And it's the war machine, growing the medical industrial complex, the food industrial complex, these big industrial complexes, these special interests that are getting legislation for them are harming us, to the people. We're forced into eating this food. What else are we going to eat? You can say, oh, Americans are fat and we eat this terrible food, and everyone else outlaws it in the entire world. Well, what else are we going to eat? Because that's all there is. Like, I don't know what where you guys can find this, unless we're going to grow our own. And they've just made it into, big farming sort of thing. So these are the issues that we're looking to address with this. It's a three-pronged approach with this, where it's not just, we're going to vote. No, we're going to vote smarter, and I'll explain that in a little bit. But, the three-prong approach that we need to do is to unite together. And so the best way to unite together is a platform. I'm very thankful for the fact that, the targeted individual community that that this exists on Twitter or X, because this was not, I was isolated. A lot of people talk about this. We were isolated. I had no, this was all, you know, great to hear. Wow, everybody else, wow, okay, we've got it. You know, these stories are the same. And so we need to unite together and understand that this is not a right or a left issue. I know that the conservatives right now are getting targeted because it stems directly from the Department of Homeland Security report that they did a while back ago that had to do with the veterans coming back, and that there was going to be homegrown terrorism in the right wing. And so they basically are just using their power to throw everyone into the right wing. So this, even though it seems like, yeah, they are J6 and all this, yeah, you know, some of the conservatives and some of the people who are really pro-MAGA, you know, you acting like that and going and terrorizing or whatever you want to call whatever happened at the Capitol, like that's going to get, that kind of behavior is going to get the attention of the terrorist watch list people. I mean, just makes sense. The same as all of it. If talking about ISIS,
even if you supported online and didn't go.
Exactly. And so, I'm not saying that it needs that kind of, like, people have a right to protest, and it's unacceptable that people who were just, you know, disagreeing with the government could be put on a watch list. It's the people that did crimes and did the things that we saw on video. There's no arguing about it. Well, they set it up. No, they didn't. These people were in control of their own, you know, anyway, people need to still be responsible for their own behavior. But either way, so the right-wing terrorism thing is sort of, whether they set it up or not, you know, that is where they're coming up with this right-winger thing. And so even though people that where, you know, you don't even have to be right-winger to be considered a right-winger. Look at what they've done to all the journalists who were just coming out with the truth. Now they're right-wing conspiracy theorists. So that's where that's all coming from. Understand that's a psyop. That is not really about the people. You know, if you go beyond the fighting on the two-party, you know, we have lots of things to unite under. And these major things are that we can't afford to spend all of our money on war machines that are no more war crimes on our dime. That includes outside of the United States and what they're doing to targeted individuals. Those are war crimes. We're not doing that anymore. And we're paying for this. We're paying for our own torture, and we're not doing it anymore. And so the best way to do this, they did 702. They did exactly what I predicted that they would do with 702. And to me, that this is the line in the sand. Anyone who voted for 702 renewal without any sort of reform, after they played nice in committee, which was just a big theater, which was, I know they played nice, but that was also nice theater. They need to go. Anyone, and so the way that the PAC would work is there's a membership platform with the Remote Workers Association, which then pays the expenses for the Political Action Committee, which then, and the lobbying and these other things with monthly subscriptions, but you actually receive something for it. It's sort of on a business end. These are our companies and our things that we make money from. Your way to advertise the way a Chamber of Commerce does on the business end. There's a business membership, there's a personal membership where you are able to donate a monthly amount to keep the platform, so we are not tied to advertisers. Where this is if you want to advertise on the platform, you are a member. The same as the Chamber of Commerce. Our advertising is going to come within from our members, not these large companies. They're going to come from within. And you get the same benefits that a chamber membership does. And then there's also a free membership, because there's many TIs that can't afford this, and this doesn't require that you pay. What the membership does is just gives you access to bigger benefits, more benefits that you know, you could, again, the vote smarter piece of this is to be able to group together people again. Some of these social media platforms, what we've done is taken the things about the social media platforms that people like Facebook groups. That works well. It's a really program that I think needs to be in some of these other things. X is very hard to follow with the threads. I get lost in threads. I can't find things that I know people have answered. It's difficult for me to follow along with threads to quickly get information that we have to people. So this new platform is to unite people so that we can vote smarter. You know, the main thing is to sort of match up voters in small states with voters in large states who are virtual nomads, basically people who just need a Wi-Fi connection, RV life, van life, these people, college students, people who do not have to have a address with residency. We're going to encourage and, I'm looking to later on, once we get the platform going, to, be able to reimburse expenses for people to have to travel if they have to go to a location where you have to go in to vote. Most places have moved up to where you can, get forwarded your mail and you can vote by mail and you won't have to do much. But there are some situations where you may have to, like, pack up your van and go over there for a little bit of time. Everyone has to, the residency rules are different. Every location has different residency rules, so I can't speak for those. That's sort of the matching between the people that live there and can't do anything, but who essentially have a room for residency to rent. That's what it all starts with, is that you have a residency address in most locations. And so that's really what it stems from. Get the information online in these groups so that they're easily found. Also, there's another cheat code that they do that has really helped them to suppress the vote, is where they get the Secretary of State to purge votes. So when your voters show up, they're not registered to vote anymore, and they get put on a conditional ballot, and then they just kind of throw those ballots out. And it's a way to kind of cheat the vote. And we as voters don't have that. So we're going to have access to these voter files when they've purged them. We will put them online so people know if they've been purged. So you can go back in there and fix your voter register, whatever their policy is that they have said that you did, it's always some dumb thing. And it's usually a lie. And so just go fix your voter registration. Once you fix it, then they can't purge you after just go fix it. And so we'll make sure that you aren't purged, or that we have access to the information, that sort of thing. There's some member benefit things that as we build the platform in the beta, you'll be able to see those as you are able to log on. So if I can ask everyone to just please go to the website remoteworkersassociation.org, and please subscribe to just the, like the standard newsletter subscribe. If you are able to give a donation at this time for the organization of all of these things to put together, costs money to start PACs and corporate fees and agents and all of this thing to set this up. So that's where we're at right now for me getting this together. The platform is built. This is how I started this quite a while ago and tried to raise the money to build the platform myself. Well, God has placed it in my hands, and it is a built platform. It is exactly what we need. There is about 6 weeks that we need to get the beta out, to get it ready to go specifically for this. I want to set up these groups as well. There's also, on these phone calls, have come up with some ideas on, most of us will eventually be suing the government. We want to get some of these on the front end, these experts that prove your results. Like, people keep forgetting that with evidence comes two sides to this. But yeah, okay, that looks like a laser, that looks like a directed energy weapon, but I need an expert that has, can say, yes, without any doubt, that is a directed energy weapon. It comes from here. The frequency was this, the energy was this, whatever that is calculated on that, the energy calculations needs to be on there. And there's experts that can do this. There was a satellite person that won this. So anyway, we agreed to get together and put together this group as well for experts, for people who are trying to also get, the Havana syndrome. There are some doctors that are doing those type of testing. Get those experts on there, and then hopefully connect the dots so that you can get scientists that will prove your evidence and that will also speak for you in court, which is the other piece of this. When we all sue the government, we need to be able to back up what evidence we do have, and that takes experts. So hopefully to connect those dots with everyone, because it's just been kind of this, like, I've been looking for somebody or machines, or tell me where it has, tell me what I don't know about science, or machines that I can, test some of these blue lasers and some of these frequencies and some of these other things. It's being done. Who are they? So basically, we're going to get together with this group, and they'll be set up. So once the beta is ready to go, please join this. If you go to subscribe right now, I will let you know, of course. We will give you an update like, hey, this is coming out. Please go in and join. It has the same, way that you would set up any other profile. It has the ability to create events. You can create, closed groups, open groups for different things. There are some main information groups that need to be out here on this platform, such as the voter purge and the, rent a room to the remoter type of thing, so people can match up if they do decide to help on the implementation of nomadic communities voting in low population states as opposed to swing states that the two-party population is looking to play a football game. It's just a game to them. And really, we're people, and we the people need to come together. This is the way to do this. Basically, in short, as well, even you don't have to join any of this. You don't have to even make it known at all. It's just right now to shock the system. We need to get rid of most of the incumbents. Most of the people that are in their job do not deserve to be in the job, because they're going to give the industrial complexes whatever they want because they're afraid of them. They will come after them and unseat them. Well, we're going to do that. And so this is the last time there was any grassroots, like actual real grassroots efforts to be made, was with the Obama campaign. And then Citizens United has changed this whole game. So these billionaires and special interests are basically raising billions and billions of dollars amongst themselves to make the parties powerful and to suppress our votes. This is why they literally do not care. You can tell them that you're going to not vote for them. You cannot vote for them. You can, nothing that we have in our toolbox is going to work except for to remove the incumbents. And these things that, I'm asked, like to vote in another district, that's already a current known Republican regular old playbook. They do it every single election where they run someone. Like example in my presentation is Dr. Oz. He does not live in Pennsylvania. And if you remember, he ran against Fetterman, who he lost to, but they put in, he owned a property over there. So he lives in New Jersey. Everybody knows he lives in New Jersey. He goes over and runs for Senate because he has name recognition. He's a conservative. And the guy who was running was an absolute sleazebag who had been accused of awful things, including domestic violence. And so must have been provable, or they wouldn't have ran him off, because what we've got in Congress currently. It must have been really bad.
Yeah.
In Santos. So anyway, voting, being in another district, there was another one, the Georgia, the football player, he does not live in Georgia, he lives in Texas, Herschel Walker. It's kind of a standard that they do this. I mean, I knew this, it's usually not so blatant where they do it on the national, with Senate. Like this one was just obvious. 2 senators that they were trying to get in there with name recognition, Herschel Walker was like, he's another one that's not functioning very well with all of his head injuries. And so they put him up thinking he was going to get in there with his, and he doesn't even live in Georgia anymore. He owns a property there. I mean, you can't, that's the thing is you own a property somewhere else, or your parents live in a small place, something like that. Like, don't do anything that's illegal. I'm not asking anybody to, do no illegal aliens, whatever, this is not about anything to do with the border. This is about people who vote already regularly. This is only less than 5% of the regularly voting population. People who vote in most elections and, keep up on this, less than 5% of us can make this change to the Electoral College that will make a difference in the sense that, there's not a lot of people don't believe in the system anymore. Everything can be hacked. We all know this with the lives that we live. They have to do a blockchain 50-state type of popular vote change in our system if the people want to be heard. And the system that they set up, back in the day was when there was like 13 colonies, and like it was not the setup of 50 states where it's, the population of Wyoming has more voting power than the whole county of Los Angeles, 4 times the power. There's not, it's just was not, that's not, well, and then you can make the argument it's exactly what they designed it for, so that we would not have any power or any control. Our voice means nothing. Well, times have changed. We have the ability to be able to gather information. We can vote directly for our president and for our senators and for our House members. The Electoral College is not, people think it's just, that's how we elect the president. No. It's the entire system that is unfairly put in our lifetimes 2 presidents that lost into the position of winning, and those presidents have made very, very bad decisions on behalf of being the loser placed in the winning position. This is not a voting handicap that we need in this day and age anymore. We have access to plenty of information as individual voters that we do not need a handicap of, senators and this other. And with the Trump thing, people who are on Trump's side and they agree with him and whatever, this whole Electoral College system is what he was trying to, whether you believe it was okay that he did it or not, it was exactly what he was trying to do, put in fake electoral votes, basically, to get himself back in there. And if you think he was really actually whatever your reasoning is behind it, this whole system needs to go. Number one, it shouldn't be that easy to hijack. And number two, it does not benefit us to put a very big loser of the popular vote in to win because a few people in powerful, low population states want them there. And if you look at the powerful, low population states, they're the ones who are the breeding grounds for all of these war contractors anyway. I mean, mention the name Cheney. I grew up in Wyoming, so anyone wants to talk to me about Wyoming, I still have family that lives there. It's really, there is a lot of, also there is some other stuff that has come from there, companies that come from Wyoming, which is a good place to set up your company. That's where I'm going to be setting up the nonprofit. But they have people that live there, and number one, it's a big place. Jackson Hole's a big place to raise money for Republicans, but there's also a lot of people that go there and create different programs, and I can't think of the name of it. It's not Stingray, it's something similar that's violated our rights. It comes from Wyoming, and it's these war contractors that violate our rights with these, special security clearances, and they sell them to all the cops, and they sell them to all the security contractors. And so, again, I need people to understand that the Electoral College is not to make it, fair for, low population. No, it's a cheating way. It is where they're cheating. They're not cheating your vote directly at the polls. Those are hard to cheat. And they want everybody looking at that because it's hard to cheat. And so they can just go through them all they want, and they're just not going to find really very much voter fraud. And so I'm not saying that it never happens, because I'm sure there's instances of it. But the cheat is in the Electoral College, the gerrymandering, these other things that they don't want you to look at and pay attention to. So it's time for some change if we want the United States to actually not fail. I think that people are mistaking wanting different direction for not loving your country. I love this country. We need to make these changes so that we can move forward. I fear for if we do nothing and just let this go on the crash course that it is, that we're going to lose our dollar, the dollar to BRICS, and so I think it's just, we need to put the vote back into the people's hands instead of back into this, blame it on capitalism, blame it on whatever you want to blame it on. It's the system needs change. It's not that, to me, it's not that huge of a deal in the sense of, like, if you look at it operationally, like, step back. If we just make these couple changes, things will be a lot more fair. It'll be less about like a football game, and it's like people have just stepped off and made it not about people's lives. Like, it's just a game, and it's not a game. The political is personal. These are people's lives. It's not a video game that you can control people's bodily functions and watch them in a house. This idea that things are a game is also part of the problem. So, me making fun of this, it is a game, and it is a game to people, unfortunately. But coming together and finding common things to unite under is the way that we do this, because we do have commonalities as much as they want to distract us with the fighting. If we're distracted by all of these psyops about who's invading us at the border and who is, which political party is doing more to help you, and who's the more evil, and which one's the bigger villain, like, it's exhausting at this point. And to me, because I've been in this for so long, I just immediately recognize things as propaganda or psyops. And so I'm just asking people to just take a step back. If you find the urge to get yourself into that two-party politics thing, step back just for a minute, because it's not, you are just buying into the messaging that they want to. You have to take away that two-party fighting. That's how they have gotten us distracted from the actual board game, which is these political action committees and our special interests. What we want as people needs to be done, and we decide these elections every single time. Whether people want you to believe it or not, the middle grounders are always, they decide every single election. It is not those who are staunch Democrats and staunch Republicans. It is the middle grounders every single time. And we need to recognize our power together. Come together with your neighbor as much as you can't stand their Trump sign. The biggest thing for me to realize, especially about, because it is annoying when somebody like really just can't see the light on, like they're just a party puppet. But really the biggest piece for me was when Biden really just started blaming the MAGA people. And it just was so clear to me that it was just about like, how can we get these people to fight amongst themselves while we just rape this country blind? And we have to come away from that, because we were, before this whole Citizens United has put this big money wrench in here, things were not as divided. We just slowly get more and more divided. And I do think, you know, a lot of people are seeing through this. And I guess that's what I'm hoping in all of this, is to participate. If you can do anything for this movement, is to participate in the uniting piece of this, to come together as one people for the things that are important to us people, which are getting rid of the military-industrial complex, the food complexes, and the medical-industrial complex. We have a right to make choices about our bodies and our decisions, and COVID was pretty clear to a lot of us that it's your choice. You don't need to be forced into certain things that are new and experimental, and it was very eye-opening for many people about that. But again, if we allow them to, these unelected people will create tyranny in every aspect of our lives if we allow them to.
I agree. What was your website again, please, for the record? And you're listening to DJ Chris at TargetedWest.com. What was your URL again, please?
Sure, it's a long one. It's remoteworkersassociation.org, spelled out REMOTEWORKERSASSOCIATION.org.
Okay, thank you for that. And it looks like Liz in the chat room has posted that on Twitter. Did you want to see if people had questions for you?
Yes, I didn't have the chat on here, but let me open that up. Or if anybody has a question and can voice it, I will answer it too.
Okay, and switch you to... Q&A is over. It's open mic for the rest of the show. We have a special surprise later, and we're open mic. If you've got a question for Shiloh Taylor, come on in. Do *6 on your mic to speak.
Hi, Shiloh. It's Katie. How are you?
Hey, Katie. I'm doing well. Thank you. How are you?
I'm sorry I got in on your show late, so I've just gotten to her a little bit, so I apologize. I just wanted to make sure I've sent you a couple emails, and I wanted to make sure they got to you.
And let me see if they did. I'm behind a little bit on emails. I've been really bogged down with trying to get these things up and ready to go. So let me just apologize to anybody. Thank you for your patience. And I have some unanswered emails too.
You don't worry about it right now. I just wanted to make sure they were getting through to you, because you know how often we get our stuff blocked.
They are, and yes. And you know what? I'm not sure that I received them, but if it was more than a few days ago, then give me tomorrow is my day. I plan to get caught up back on every correspondence.
No rush. I just wanted for you to be on the lookout.
If not, I will send you an email that says I didn't receive it.
Okay. Okay. I'll let somebody else know. Good speaking with you.
Good to speak with you as well.
Okay. Bye, Shiloh.
It's open mic for Shiloh Taylor. Do you have a question for Shiloh? Thank you, Katie.
Hi, Shiloh. This is Deborah from New Jersey. We spoke the other night. I'm the lady who is interested in sharing expert names. I passed along a few expert names that I thought were significant in this, and I know there's many more. But how are you tonight, Shiloh?
I'm doing well, thank you, and appreciate your suggestion.
Yeah, so I have another important, another one that I'd like to pass along here. His name is Professor James Lin, Lin. I don't know if you're familiar with that name, but he wrote an important book called, I'm scrolling through my notes here, called The Auditory Effects of Microwave Radiation, Auditory Effects of Microwave Radiation. I believe the copyright was 2021. But he is a professor emeritus at the University of Illinois at Chicago, and his credentials are incredible in this field. So he is someone that we might want to reach out to. So it's Professor James C, as in cat, C Lin, Lin.
Hey, Deborah, I did send that information to Shiloh. This is Lynn.
Oh, did we talk about Lynn the other night?
We did. Remember I said, is he Professor Emeritus? And you said
That's
yes,
right.
and I found him.
We did. Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah.
It would be nice to get him on the book club interview for our call.
That's a nice idea.
Yeah, if I can get his email, I can contact him and have him on, and you guys can ask questions and such.
Mm-hmm. Well, we were talking.
What's the professor's name again?
So it's
Professor James Lin.
James Lin, Lin?
Correct.
Thank you.
I'm not sure I have his book in my book club, actually, so I'll have to check that.
And he's written many books, and he's authored many papers, and his credentials are pretty impressive. But we were talking the other night on Shiloh's call about the importance of getting these experts to support us, because it's one thing, this is a very hard topic for people to understand, and coming from us, it's difficult, but coming from the experts who can be our voices, it makes all the difference in the world. And it would be wonderful to get some of these experts to ask them. Maybe we just need to simply ask them to support us and get them on the various, ask them to go on the various, whether it's MSNBC or CNN or Fox, whatever it might be, whatever contacts they might have. I know one of the embassy targets has a platform, a semi-regular. He's semi-regularly on MSNBC. So, and I don't know if people, and I don't want to throw around names here, but so I just feel very strongly that we need experts to speak on our behalf. If Robert Duncan truly supports, wants to be a whistleblower, then maybe we can approach him, and he is a whistleblower. Not that he wants to be a whistleblower. He is a whistleblower, and maybe we could approach him and ask him to do more for us. Same with Professor Lin, and same with.
I had Dr. Duncan on the call, and I can have him back, and you guys can quiz him. He's got a new book coming out too, by the way.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to put anybody on the spot either. I'd like to, maybe it needs to be done in a way where they feel, comfortable with.
He's on Twitter, and he's very approachable, as that's how I got a hold of him. So he's under Robert Duncan on Twitter.
Yeah, we were wondering if he might be willing to do any of the court, the court side of that, to sort of expert people's.
I mean, those are the people that
their expertise. Yes, put their expert stamp on people's different evidence.
If people truly want to make a difference, that's how they make a difference, right? To go to the media and to speak out about this. That's how we really can make a difference here in support of us. And maybe what they talk about is a lawsuit that a group of people in Texas are a class action lawsuit, and maybe that's how they jumpstart this, talking about that and how this in fact is happening. Whatever the topic, however they feel comfortable in approaching it, but maybe simply that there is actually a lawsuit that a group of people in Texas, and how many people have signed this and support this, and this is what's going on, and this is how it works, and it really can be that simple. And we just need people to support us. These experts need to come forward and help us. We talk about these experts, but we really need to ask them. Will they support us? Can they? What kind of contacts do they have in the media? And see if they'll move forward with this.
I think also too that we need to be our own media, in the sense that there are some new platforms and different groups that are coming out that are offering some different type of media coverage just because they have experience. And not every single TI apparently is completely broke and homeless. So also, yeah, I do think that we should use our voices with our own stories as well, because a lot of people like to group everyone into the person that they know that really does have an actual mental illness. And I have a cousin that is severely schizophrenic, and he is not, I don't believe, to be targeted, or it's not directed energy weapons. He gets relief from the medication and stops taking it, and it happened in his early 20s, and he can't function, and he sees things and hears things, and it's not just V2K to somebody that it's just very, very, very different. And when people are having those, when they are schizophrenic, it's to me very different, just because I have experienced this with somebody that is close to me. It's been for 20 years. It's not a new thing with him. And so I've seen him go up and down, and just like really, it's not, V2K and schizophrenia are very different. And yeah, it is. Somebody in saying, that their sister has schizophrenia and it's hardcore and debilitating. It absolutely is, but it's very different than these people. And if we can tell, these people, us, can tell our stories, and where they go, wow, this is, these are credible people. These are intelligent people. These are not schizophrenic people. If anybody who's dealt with this knows that this is not schizophrenia. To me, I don't know how anyone, it's not malpractice to put this V2K into schizophrenia. It should be malpractice. It's not even similar in any ways at all, other than, I guess, maybe the hallucinatory voices. But that's not. How do they explain people who are psychic or who have medium ability?
Exactly. I got diagnosed as schizophrenic in 10 minutes, and I'm highly functioning. So what does that mean? Because I said all I said was I heard voices in the past. I didn't say I had them at the moment, and he still labeled me in 10 minutes and didn't even tell me. And my regular psychiatrist says ignore it. It's bogus.
I heard that you don't get that. Well, from what I've understood and what I've had confirmed with other people in that field that normally that you get diagnosed before 22 of schizophrenia. And
yeah, I was 43.
And I'm 52, so I mean, and I don't hear voices, but and hopefully I never start, but I believe everyone that they're getting these voices, but they're saying that, you know, in the field of psychiatry, you normally get diagnosed before 22.
Exactly. Which is why it's bogus. It's so thrown around, that schizophrenia diagnosis is so easy. It's just easy peasy. Throw it out there, left and right. Get your numbers up. Get everybody on meds.
Well,
you're supposed to go through tests. There's a significant amount of testing that goes on before you label someone in any mental illness.
Well,
you don't just do it quickly.
That's a big thing. I mean, that's a big point to make, is that, you know, most of these people that are realizing that they're targets and have BTK, I mean, I don't know the numbers and the ages, but from what I understand from the people that are on here, they're above 30. And so that's a big point to make when people are saying, you know, they're schizophrenic or have a label of schizophrenia.
Yeah, so just a quick question. Have any of you guys heard of Echelon? That's a system that spies on your phone calls, but we were going to talk about it tonight, but I don't think it's that important. We are going to have a brief commercial in a moment, but Katie, come on in.
Yeah, Echelon, it was a company in Corpus Christi, Texas, and they've installed security systems and stereo systems and surround sound and everything, and they came to my house to put a security system in on Ohio Drive, and the owner committed suicide.
Yeah, no, this is the big Echelon spine system. Those big ray domes, those brown domes that look like those are all hiding the direction of the antenna. Well, apparently in Echelon they were aiming these antennas up at the satellites and getting all the satellite communication with long distance and such. And my question tonight, Katie, do you think that the encryption of phone calls now has made that impossible for Echelon to work, because there are no updates of any sort about that technology?
There's no updates. I can't give you an honest, true answer of what I think on that, but you're correct. There's no updates whatsoever anywhere that I'm aware of. I just found
one video recently and realized they really swept Echelon down the tubes to keep it hidden from us.
Yep, you're right.
Okay, and let's see, Tranquility, are you available? We're going to go ahead and play a quick commercial.
Yes, I am.
Oh, hello.
Sure.
Well, we'll be with you in just a moment. We have a quick advertisement for my friend Tranquility. Do you know her, Tranquility? Have you heard of her? I'm just joking. Here you go.
Funny.
Are you a targeted individual looking for support and connection? Look no further than TIEvents.org, the ultimate event site for targeted individuals worldwide. Discover a wide range of upcoming events, from conferences and meetups to rallies and fundraisers. Connect with like-minded individuals, participate in informative conference calls, and explore a wealth of resources. Visit TIEvents.org today and join a thriving community of targeted individuals. Together, we can make a difference. TIEvents.org, empowering targeted individuals worldwide.
Good evening, everyone. This is Tranquility, the founder of TI Events, and I'm here tonight to share some exciting holiday events happening within our TI community. As Christmas approaches, it's important for us to come together, support one another, and find joy in the midst of our challenges. Before I continue, I want to take a moment to express my heartfelt gratitude to DJ Chris. It has been an absolute pleasure working with you throughout this year. Your dedication and support have made a significant impact on our community, and I want to extend my sincerest appreciation for your contributions. DJ Chris, thank you for your unwavering commitment to our cause. Now let's dive into the upcoming events. On Tuesday, December 19th, the esteemed Ron Edwards American Experience radio show we'll be featuring a special guest. We are honored to welcome Amy Hollum, a fellow TI and the owner of Amy's Audios. Tune in at 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central, and 12 p.m. Pacific to hear her story and gain valuable insights. Next, on the same day, Tuesday, December 19th, we have a delightful event planned, the Gaji's After Dinner Jam Special Christmas Edition, starting at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, 7:30 p.m. Central, and 5:30 p.m. Pacific. Get ready, get ready, get ready for an evening filled with warmth, joy, and festive spirit. Cozy up in your favorite Christmas jammies as we bring you a delightful lineup of activities. Sing along to your favorite Christmas songs. Be enchanted by the jam voices as they serenade us with beautiful carols, and get ready for a special treat, a heartwarming reading of "'Twas the Night Before Christmas," just for our TI children. Don't forget to bring your milk, cookies, and Christmas jammies for an unforgettable experience right from the comfort of your own home. As we move closer to Christmas, on Christmas Eve, Sunday, December 24th, we have two wonderful events lined up. First, we have the Refuge from the Storm Church and a time of intercession with the TI's Christmas Eve candlelight service via Zoom. Join us at 6 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Central, and 3 p.m. Pacific for a heartwarming experience as we celebrate the season together. And let's not forget the Targeted West Show's second annual Christmas Eve party. It's a simple gathering where we come together and share something we're grateful for. The open mic session will allow us to connect with new and old friends. This will be a great opportunity to find joy and celebrate the spirit of Christmas. On Christmas Day, Monday, December 25th, we have something truly special planned, the PAC's International Annual Christmas Day Conference Call, starting at 12 noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific, and continuing throughout the day. This conference call is a chance for us to come together, share stories of hope and resilience, and strengthen our bonds as a community. Lastly, mark your calendars for Friday, December 29th, as we have the second Political Action Committee conference call hosted by Shiloh Taylor. This call is designed to foster meaningful discussions, address important issues, and empower our community to take action. On behalf of TI Events, I want to take a moment to wish each and every one of you a very Merry Christmas. May this holiday season bring you joy, peace, and a renewed sense of hope. Remember, together we are stronger, and together we can make a difference. Thank you for being part of our community, and don't forget to visit tievents.org to gather the details on how to join all of these wonderful events. Merry Christmas, everyone.
Thank you. Does anyone have any questions for Tranquility? Well, if you're on your favorite video platform, you'll make a note of those events and, of course, participate by going to tievents.org. Thank you again, Tranquility. We're now going to switch to TI Book Club mode. And it's the second week of the Tavistock Institute Social Engineering the Masses. We discussed last week that the Rockefellers and the Tavistock are involved. The Tavistock is from Sussex, England. They're basically a think tank, a social engineering group. And they manipulate quite a few things, including Shiloh talking earlier about the unions and how they're hard to get together. Well, that's engineered that way because Rockefeller works with Tavistock to keep unions from getting strong. So it's an interesting book. We give it an 8. It, of course, is available at our TI Book Club site, and that is available for you to join at www.bookclubs.com/TI Book Club /join/ we have 110 members in the book club, and we have Tranquility, as you just heard, as one of the admin librarians, and Laura, whose call is coming up after this. So That's it. It's open mic now, so you can talk amongst yourselves. Come on in. Don't be shy. Come on in. I hear you, Huggy Bear.
All right. Does anybody have a call open on Christmas Day? Sure. Yeah.
Derek does. Derek will have a call.
Any idea what time?
During the day, it'll be open.
That starts at 12 noon Eastern and 9 a.m. Pacific.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
It's open mic. Come on in.
Shiloh, are you still on this call?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, I just also wanted to mention that on the Targeted Justice website under medical, there's a whole slew of doctor names, and some of them I think could be interesting in terms of potential experts, reaching out to them as potential experts.
Sure. Targeted Justice has got a lot of good information on their site. The entire thing has
right.
a lot of good information. What I'm hoping with this particular platform is just to make it easier to connect, for people to actually connect and make groups and do different things. And, there are some different, even though we're all TIs, we have some different types of interests and different types of groups that fit individual personalities and religions or whatever. So hoping that we can unite on platforms, and then you just, go to your individual groups, and that's the difference with this, is we would be able to connect with these, and hopefully connect with these experts. I'm actually, when we get closer to the launch period, I want to do, start inviting people and talking to people about, please come on here and check it out. If you don't like it, then you don't have to use it, but give us a try, because I believe we've taken most of what the things that people like about the individual platforms and use those type of things. And then also, because it's a nonprofit, I don't think that there's going to be as many speech type of issues, because when you are a member of a group, you are asking as a member for that type of speech. And so that's sort of where it's the legalities of the nonprofit is a little bit better than getting strong-armed. So again, that's just trying to give you an idea of why it's different and what it's about, because anybody that's on the Targeted Justice, I'm hoping to give a personal invite to please come join us. And then also to find out if these people will do, the legal end, sort of, for some of us that are ready to go on there. I don't know how far anybody is. I'm still trying to get diagnosed with Havana syndrome, if that's what's wrong with me. I assume it is, but I need a doctor to tell me. So once that happens, then I can move forward on my individual case.
Totally cool. Well, thank you for that. Do you mind if I play one more commercial before we switch the recording off? Be just a little quickie, and then we'll be done. It's my nonfiction book, available at Barnes & Noble, Apple, Amazon, and everywhere else. Here we go.
Are you looking for a collection of thrilling reads that will keep you on the edge of your seat? Well, look no further than the captivating world of DJ Chris. Titles like My Synthetic Dreams, The Cold War Next Door, and My Synthetic Telepathy promise a roller coaster of emotions, suspense, and first-hand accounts of the author's personal experiences as a targeted individual. Grab your copies today from Amazon or Barnes & Noble and plunge into the adrenaline-pumping narrative. And for those who want to experience all three books together, check out the Targeted Trilogy audiobook collection. Dive in and find out why DJ Chris is the talk of the literary world, and get lost in the gripping tales of targeted souls.
Yeah, support a starving author like me and help by buying one of my inexpensively priced books. I appreciate you watching me on your preferred platform, whether it's YouTube, Spotify, hearing me, or through archive.org or bitchute. I appreciate your time. I'll be back next week. So we'll go ahead and end the recording now and let the open mic continue.